Let's go back a few years, 8 years in fact, to the faraway time of 2012. Two friends came together with an idea. Let's route a speedrun together. And with that, those two friends came together and started to route the speedrun of a game they had both played tons of in the past. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Those two friends were me and someone formerly going by the name of WolfLuke13. I say formally, as I know they changed their name at some point, but I don't know what they changed it to, so from here on out, I won't be referring to them by that name. We went into it with the hope to speedrun a game we had both had fond memories of. It was a 3D platformer collectathon, a very popular genre of game to speedrun. And during this time, speedrunning as a general was seeing a massive spike in attention, with sites like Speedruns Live getting more and more traffic daily. Today, in this video, I'll be talking about something we theorized all the way back in 2013, and how 7 years later, it's finally possible. This is the story of Ty the Tasmanian Tiger's Gate Skip. So how does one go about beating Ty? The game is split into 3 different hub areas, with each hub area containing 3 levels and a boss fight. To unlock the boss fight, you must explore the levels and collect what are called Thunder Eggs. You can think of them sort of as this game's version of the Power Stars or Jiggies. They're the main collectible. The second and third hub areas are blocked off by objects that you need to get rid of. To get to the second area, you need to obtain the Flame Ring, which is obtained by beating the boss of the first hub. And to get into the third area, you need to get the Frosty Ring, which is obtained by beating the boss of the second area. And the reward for beating the boss of the third area is the Zappy Ring, which is used to open the gate that leads into the final boss. Back when we were first routing the game, the route was very simple. We had a few simple tricks and a few simple skips, but nothing amazing, and certainly nothing groundbreaking. The speedrun lacked any huge sequence breaks or out-of-bounds skips, the sort of stuff you would commonly see in 3D platformer speedruns. We had managed to stumble across a few skips, ones that allow us to save small amounts of time over normal intended gameplay, but neither of us were what the community considered glitch hunters, the people that actually go about finding most of the glitches that are used in speedruns. But even without those, we continued to route and run the game. Around April of 2013, someone with glitch hunting experience stepped in. This person was named Bob. She was well known for glitch hunting The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, and Bob offered to take a look into Ty for a bit, and so he spent some time messing around with the game. Around late 2013, we had been running the game for a few months, and a pretty well-known glitch hunter in the speedrunning communities, Chronicies, showed interest in Ty. Chronicies was known for all the skips and tricks that she had found in both Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, and she was determined to prove me wrong when I had told her that Ty had no glitches, something she would continue to poke fun at as she continued to work on the game. Now with both Bob and Chronicies looking around, surely there'd be a lot found, right? Two very experienced glitch hunters, both taking a look into an underdeveloped speed game. This time in 2013, we were able to confirm at least something. You see, in the overworld of Ty, Rainbow Cliffs, the area that leads to the final boss is a giant gate. A gate that can only be opened by activating the generator next to it with the Zappy Ring, which, mentioned before, is the reward for being the boss of the third area. While Bob was messing around with Ty, he confirmed for us that the portal that leads to the final area is actually always active behind the gate. Prior to this, we assumed that activating the generator and opening the gate is what triggered the portal to appear and become active. We were wrong. Using the GameCube emulator Dolphin, Bob was able to modify Ty's jump height and just jumped over the gate, thus showing us that the portal was there. This discovery led us down a rabbit hole, a rather long rabbit hole that would only end when we finally found a way to skip the gate, and thus skip the need for the Zappy Ring altogether. To us, this was our version of the infamous barrier skip in Wind Waker or moonwarp in Majora's Mask, and we were determined to find a way to skip that gate. Abba Bob was pretty busy at the time, so he didn't spend too much with Ty, but what he did discover was pretty vital to our pursuit in the game. Chronicies would go on to find tons of skips and tricks, all of which she demonstrated on her YouTube channel. Chronicies contributed a ton to the run, and all of her discoveries resulted in quite a few reroutes done for the any percent. The amount of stuff she found cannot be understated, but what she couldn't find was a way to skip the gate. Our gate skip remained out of reach, too far away, and so runs continued, working in the new discoveries of the route, as well as attempts to further optimize the game. Around this time, I had become less active in the Ty community myself, but was always watching from the background. Ty would finally get its chance in the spotlight, as it would make it into Games Done Quick, premiering in 2016. To those unaware, Games Done Quick is a big charity speedrunning event, something speedrunners from all over the world wish to attend to have their game in, so they can show off their own effort and the effort of their community. This event, even the developers of the game dropped by to watch. And something else happened in 2016. Something pretty big. In December of 2016, Chrome Studios, the developer of Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, put the game up on Steam Early Access. Prior to this, the only other title was 2013's Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 4, which at this point was exclusive to the Windows 8 store. So to see Ty appear on Steam was unexpected. This version was put in early access as the team behind it looked to vastly improve upon the game, making it run at a silky smooth 60 FPS with widescreen support. They would later go on to add more bells and whistles. So what does this have to do with the story though? Well, before this, the fastest version of Ty was on the Xbox. Back when I first started, GameCube was used because it was just the version we had. But Xbox proved to have much faster loading times, so top runners would run on Xbox for those loads. The Steam version, along with looking and running better, actually loaded areas near instantly, making it the fastest version of the game, and so top runners started doing runs on the PC version. And with the PC version came updates, something the console versions obviously never got. As Ty left early access, Chrome continued to patch the game to address various issues players ran into as a result of all the additions and changes that they had made. These patches proved to be the key toward a long-awaited, all-elusive gate skip. Following a very successful Kickstarter in order to port the Ty to modern consoles, Ty got an update for a PC that would later go on to be the basis for the Nintendo Switch version. An update that was made to address several issues in the game ended up resulting in the discovery of something big. Enter Brandorn the Great, a member of the Ty community who has been working on optimizing movements as well as looking into skips himself. On May 30th, 2020, he discovered a new glitch exclusive to this update that came out along the Nintendo Switch, called ground swimming. In Brandorn's own words, working on a way to get coconuts in shipwrecks without going across the quicksand was a goal of mine. I was messing with it one day and managed to somehow get myself stuck in an invisible barrier. I think it was a bit of a fluke or insanely precise because I wasn't able to replicate it at all. I was jumping against the wall and suddenly found myself swimming above ground. A glitch he found just by trying to find a completely unrelated skip. This new glitch he found would allow you to make the game treat Ty as if he was diving into deep water while you're actually diving into shallow water. This would incorrectly put Ty in a state of being underwater while actually being above water. This came with one caveat though, as you actually couldn't swim upwards. You couldn't change your height at all, and therefore it couldn't really be useful, right? Brandorn found that you could in fact change the height, but not by moving up like you normally would while swimming, but instead by swimming against objects. Due to how collision with walls and objects work while swimming, Ty doesn't surface when swimming against these objects at certain angles. Over the course of a day, this new ground swimming was worked into smaller things like the time attack in 2 Up, as well as a skip in the level Walk in the Park. But then, the big discovery was made. On May 31st, the very next day, another glitch hunter, Coral Killer, who had been working on Ty's glitch hunting and optimization, became the first person to do it. they managed to skip the gate, proving that the gate skip was possible and was found 8 years later. Using this new ground swimming and taking advantage of the trees that just so happen to be next to the gate to gain height, it's possible to surface and jump over to the top of the collision on the gate and have Ty grab onto it. It happened. It finally happened. Gate skip was found. This skip allows us to avoid having to go into Liar Liar Pants on Fire, Beyond the Black Stump, Rex Marks the Spot, and Fluffy's Fjord, which shaved off around 15 to 20 minutes from the run. Following the discovery, the world record would go on to be broken on a daily basis, as runners got used to the new glitch and skip. So what now? Well, Brandorn is continuing to help optimize movement, as well as looking into new skips. A new category was made that doesn't skip the gate, and this category would be called 51 Thunder Eggs, with the 51 being the total needed to finish the game and obtain the Zappy rank. Now, there is still one concern, however. As mentioned before, the game is being updated, especially since from that Kickstarter there's an upcoming PS4 and Xbox One release. There's always the potential that Chrome could just decide to patch this out. While it doesn't damage a casual playthrough, they could just decide to patch it out. For this reason, we have found ways to downgrade the Steam release, as well as recommending Switch runners to disable the auto software updating. The discovery of ground swimming itself has introduced quite a bit. Mentioned before, there's a skip used in the level Walk in the Park that's done in the any % run to avoid doing a semi-auto scroller. It also allows for us to glitch into the second and third hub areas early, without the need of either the Flame Ring or the Frosty Ring. Though, sadly, getting to the other hub areas isn't faster, as the game actually won't allow us to advance to the next boss fight without beating any of the prior ones. While it's not faster for any %, it actually still has an application. Bingos. Ground swimming is also being worked into more and more areas of the run, in both any % and 51 Thunder Eggs, so there's still more potential for changes to come to the route. Ty 80% over the course of where it began and now has dropped from a 2-hour 15-minute time to the current world record being just under 34 minutes. And there's still potential for new things. Ty has seen a lot of help from glitch hunters in the speedrunning community. Ababob, Chronicies, Brandorn, Coral Killer, and more, all coming together to make our long-time dream come true. Without their help, Ty 80% would not even be remotely close to the run it is now. And who knows, maybe Gate Skip would have stayed out of reach if it wasn't for them. Now, I hope everyone enjoyed this video, and to the old friend who started this whole thing with me 8 years ago, if you're watching this somewhere, for some reason, we did it. Thanks for watching, everyone.